Hey Internet, Eric here. 12 Days of Christmas Horror is still going on. I'm finally at the end of the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. At least all the original films. First off, if you don't know what 12 Days of Christmas Horror is, it's a concept where you watch 12 horror movies set at Christmas, make 12 videos, upload them in 12 days. And holy shit, I'm getting tired of this. But I've been watching the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, and I'm finally at the end of the original run of movies. Today I'm talking Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker. This came out in 1991, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. Plot spoilers, specific scenes, all that crap. Again, it's been around since 1991, so if you haven't seen it, why are you watching this video and you're worried about spoilers? Basic plot of this is we are following a young boy named Derek. He was in the movie poster, and his mom. Now, one night, Derek answers the door. It's late at night, and he has a mystery Christmas present delivered to him. And he is going to open it, and his father comes down and asks him what he's doing up so late, sends him to bed, and he opens the Christmas present himself. It ends up being like this little Christmas bulb, but it's like a toy. It's dressed like Santa. Santa's head pops out. Everything looks fine and happy. Christmas music playing, and then suddenly the funeral march plays. Really cool. Santa's head turns around. It's this little demon monster with like jagged teeth. Arms come out, strangle the dad, make him fall on a misplaced fireplace poker. He dies. Now, for the rest of the movie, we are following Derek, who now cannot speak because he witnessed the murder, and his mother. And mother takes him to the toy store, which is owned by Mickey Rooney, playing a character named Joe Petto, and Joe Petto's son Pinocchio, tries to give him some toys. Toys don't cheer him up, blah, blah, blah. And we're also introduced to another side character whose name I don't remember. But you find out he is investigating Joe Petto because apparently Joe Petto, I laugh every time I say that name, was suspected of booby-trapping children's toys in the past. And then the rest of the movie is them dealing with crazy Mickey Rooney. He didn't take his crazy pills like in that Family Guy episode. Now, it could be because of how much I hated Part 4, and then I watched this right after. I really liked this one. This one was a lot of fun. First off, kid that plays Derek, he's fine. You know, he's mute. He has to do a lot of body language instead, and it's believable. He's likable. He's not overly cute. He's not overly annoying, so he's okay. Actress who plays his mom, just as fine. Nothing special. She's got good chemistry with the kid. She's got good chemistry with this guy that's playing the guy doing the investigation. And there's a reason why, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Speaking of him, he's fine too. The acting's fine in this movie. He's fine too. Trying to track down he's going to this toy store a lot, buying all these toys, trying to make sure they're not booby trapped and what have you. And then there's Pino. He's played by, I wondered who this actor was. He looked really familiar. So I went to his IMDb. He played the oldest of the kids, the hillbilly kids in Pumpkinhead. You know, he was the one that took Lance Henriksen to Haggis, to bring Pumpkinhead to life. He was really good, very quiet in the very beginning, very good at being creepy. And then he upped the creep factor at the end, and we will talk about that, and it's probably the most memorable part of this whole fucking movie. And then there's Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney doesn't really do much in this movie other than drink whiskey and beat up Pino. And it's hammy as fuck, and it's funny as fuck, and I really liked it. I like the fact that there's a story going around that. First off, Mickey Rooney was one of the main people against the first Silent Night, Deadly Night. And I didn't watch the news footage. People say there's news footage, but he was one of the main people outspoken against it, how, it shouldn't be about a killer Santa and all that shit. And then now he's doing Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, and I've heard and I've read that he just thought he was doing a movie called The Toymaker, and supposedly after everything was done and filmed, they changed the name to Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker. And I hope that's true because I think that's fucking hilarious that he was, so against, that the first movie, and then he ends up doing Part 5. He really doesn't do a lot other than, like I said, drink Jack Daniels and beat up Pino. But it's funny. So the acting is pretty decent overall. Nothing to cry home about, but it's not like, ugh. Clint Howard shows up again in a funny cameo as like a mall Santa. He's actually really funny. The redheaded chick from part four shows up as a friend to the widow. She's fine. So there's that. Um, Really good gore in this. With these toys that come to life and kill people. There's a there's a scene, and it's an homage to part four, where the guy doing the investigation, he's going to get kicked out of his motel, and he's trying to tell the motel manager, "Hey, give me one more day," blah blah blah. So he convinces the motel manager to give him one more day, and he gives a toy that he just bought from Joe Petto's shop to give to his son, and it's like a giant it's like Larry the larva. It's like this giant larva from like part four, and it attacks the guy while he's driving. It goes like in his mouth and like sucks out his eyes, causes him to get into a fiery car wreck. That gore is good. There's a scene where Derek's being babysat, and of course the babysitter's upstairs fucking her boyfriend, and Mickey Rooney shows up dressed like Santa Claus, captures Derek literally in his toy sack and carries him away. And then he lets loose all these toys on the two lovebirds. And that has got some good gore. I think it's like an airplane or something that flies at the dude. And it's stabbing him, and buzzsaws come out the wings. And it ends up impaling him, and the buzzsaw goes up and like cuts his face. Blood everywhere, and he's in his tighty whitey, so you get the blood splattered on that. She's attacked. Well, they're fucking around, and she's on her back, and this is before he's obviously killed, and he's making his moves on her. And there's like a toy snake that wraps itself around her, so her arms are bound while he's getting killed. And then there's like a toy tank that shows up and shoots her in the chest, and her chest literally explodes. And you think she's dead, but for some reason she can still crawl around and scream after being shot in the fucking chest. And she is attacked by so many other creatures, blood everywhere. That's great. There's a scene where the asshole kid of the neighborhood, in a funny scene, he's talking to the babysitter and her boyfriend, calls the babysitter's boyfriend an asshole, and a really funny scene that got me laughing out loud. He steals Derek's present, I think. He's got rollerblades. It's got rockets on the back, so in a cringe-worthy scene with the kids acting, he's crazy on the rollerblades. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't catch myself. He gingerly gets hit by a car, and then you wake up and his face is all covered in bandages. So that was kind of weird, but he looked bloody through the bandages, so that was cool. Yeah, Gore is pretty good. The plot, I think, is so crazy. Not weird, fucked up part 4 crazy, but crazy enough in this one because at the end we find out that was not Mickey Rooney dressed as Santa. We find out because Mickey Rooney lost his pregnant wife in a car crash, and he then, because he was not able to have that son, created Pino. Obviously, Joe Petto, Geppetto, Pino, Pinocchio. Okay, he has created Pino, and Pino is like a robot, and he switched his face with Mickey Rooney's face when he was dressed as Santa, and he kidnapped Derek. And I don't know why he kidnapped Derek. I think it was just to bring the mother down, to rescue him. And we get this whole backstory of how Mickey Rooney did that. And Mickey Rooney would always get drunk on Jack Daniels, like I said, and just beat the shit out of Pino. And one day, I guess Pino had enough because the mom finds Mickey Rooney's dead body on the ground. And then Pino switches his Mickey Rooney face for his face, and it's a really cool look. Like you see the inside of like the circuits and everything. That looked really cool. And then this is where it really gets weird but cool looking. Pino decides to reveal himself. He's showing everything, and he literally looks like a G.I. Joe. Okay, he's got the plastic hair, and he's got the plastic face, and then he strips naked, and because he's telling his story to the mom. And he's got the opposable arms, and all that stuff, moving like that, and the joints. Looks just like a G.I. Joe. He literally drops trowel. He's not anatomically correct, so it's one of the weirdest and funniest fucking things I've seen in a long time. I liked that because it was so bizarre, but fun and goofy and schlocky. So I liked that. Something I didn't like is we find out why this guy who's investigating Mickey Rooney has also been following Derek and his mom because he is an ex-boyfriend of the mom, and Derek is really their love child, and she broke up with him because he couldn't give her the financial stability that the husband could give, and blah blah blah. But then they already end up having sex after first reunited, so she didn't really give a shit about her husband in the beginning. So that was stupid. All right, they're not. Well, I forgot about this. There sure is a lot of rape in this series. Okay, we have 2 attempted rapes in part 1, 1 attempted rape in part 2. Thank Christ there wasn't any in part 3. We have that Clint Howard rape scene in part 4. And then we have this attempted rape scene in part 5. But it's weird because Pino is standing there butt ass naked, as much as a G.I. Joe could be naked. And he attempts to rape the mom. Like literally, he puts her, she's on a desk, and he wraps her legs around her, or her legs around him, and he's doing all the thrusting and this and that, but he's got no dick, and she's just trying to take it. I don't fucking know. It's just weird and out of context, and he's saying, I love you, mommy, and this and that, and it's just fucking weird and unnecessary, and why does this series have so much rape in it? I don't know. But, all that aside, I really had a lot of fun with the absurdness, the feel of it, the cheesiness of Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker. I would own this. I definitely, well, my buddy Johnny is sending it to me, but I would rewatch this because I had a lot of fun with how schlocky it was. It fits perfectly with 1 and 2, with how over the top, goofy, fun, and stupid the first 2 were. This one still has that vibe. Not too much I don't like about it. Like I said, the whole you're my son's father type of stuff, that was dumb. The G.I. Joe rape was dumb. I like how they leave it open for a sequel. That was cool. I liked how Pino was taken out. That looked cool. Really creative in such a little weird fucking movie. So I highly recommend, if you liked part 1 and part 2, I do recommend part 5. Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker. That's it. So that's it. I just said that. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this. I'm done with the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. I will not be talking about the remake with Malcolm McDowell because I need a break from this series. Maybe I'll go into it next year. But I will say this. I remember being fucking bored, and it took me 3 tries to finish it. So that's it. 12 Days of Christmas Horror continues. I don't know what I'm watching next, but I know I plan on, don't hold me to it, I plan on trying to get Christmas Evil in there. Silent Night, Bloody Night for my buddy Joe the Horror Man, because I think he said that's his favorite Christmas slasher movie. I think he said Christmas Evil. Better watch out. I know for a fucking fact I'm doing Santa's Sleigh. So I'm done with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Thank Christ. Anyways, I will say cheers and happy horror days. Don't trust Mickey Rooney when he's drinking Jack.